Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer. Mortimer Goswick.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I may, sir. I don't mean to be a burden.
I will see you later. I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. How can I help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of Mortimer Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talents as a physician.
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes, thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question, considering the urgency of the situation.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Not now.
It's locked, all right. It's locked. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin. Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this isn't... The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now. If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from them. Mortals. But what about my thirst for blood? Yes, Nurse Crane? How can I help you?
I'm so sorry. I know Dr. Swansea wanted you to rest, but we have somewhat of a crisis.
A crisis, you say?
Our supply of antiseptics is nearly depleted. I was hoping there was another box up here, but...
Sorry. There's nothing here.
Some of the patients won't last the night without them. Honestly, sir, I'm beside myself.
I may have a solution. In France, during the war, drugs shortage was a daily problem, and we had to use our wits to overcome the shortages.
However do you mean?
If combined correctly, certain household chemical products can be used in a pinch instead. Now, where's the hospital storeroom?
The storeroom? Fat chance. This is the Pembroke, and space is luxury we don't have. Everything used to be stored in the old morgue.
Perhaps I should look there first. Where is this morgue?
It's the large building behind the hospital. You'll need to go in the back door because it's been sealed off for sanitary reasons. Take this key.
The abandoned morgue behind the hospital. A small door at the end of a narrow street. On my way then. Thank you, nurse.
I wonder what your last thoughts would be, sir.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed.
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal?
You keep calling me mortal.
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned?
I cannot say for sure.
The staff here are not your enemy.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white.
I see. Don't worry.
Thank you, mortal, but do not interfere with them.
Who are you really, Miss?
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect.
Who is treating you?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry.
Why do you feel responsible for the injury, Thomas? What really happened?
I wasn't disfigured by any German shells. It happened during my leave. It was an accident.
Why lie about it?
Come on. It's one thing to come back disfigured by the Germans, and it's another to get injured in an accident that could have happened to anybody.
Reconstructive surgery has been very successful for some soldiers.
I don't want to wear a bloody mask for the rest of my life.
Tell me what really happened then.
I went with a whore in Rouen.
Did you start the fire? Were you trying to avoid going back to the front?
No. It's just that I was asleep when the
Why lie about it?
Come on.
Reconstructive...
I don't want to wear...
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood. Good evening, Mr. Elwood.
Evening, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
I'm sorry you ended up on my plain and cold medical bench, sir. I understand you must be very angry about it. Same mass grave as your wife. I hope that might help.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate. Good evening. I'm Dr. Reed.
Always a pleasure to meet a colleague, sir. Especially when he was supposedly dead.
A colleague? Are you a doctor too?
Not anymore, sir. I used to be Dr. Rakesh Chadana. Now, I'm just Mr. Chadana, pawnbroker and humble guardian of this morgue.
What do you mean, you used to be a doctor? Was your license revoked?
No, sir.
A pawnbroker?
Yes, sir. All kind of people.
Who comes here to trade with you?
I'm very cautious, sir.
Are you afraid or uneasy?
Why should I? These bodies are empty.
An interesting point of view.
Sir, as a medic during...
How did you get this job?
After I left the army,
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were...
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago.
Have we met before?
I don't think so, sir. Why?
When we first talked, you said you were glad to meet me since I was reported dead.
Funny story, sir. Your sister came here a few nights ago. You were missing, and she was looking for your body.
Do you work here alone?
Yes, very easy work, sir.
Why do you have to watch these bodies?
Because these poor fellows have no names.
Why close the hospital's main morgue?
It was for sanitary reasons after the beginning of the epidemic. Cadavers had to be moved to the nearest mass grave.
Please show me what you have to sell.
Of course. It's just trinkets and curios, really. but I'm sure they can be useful.
It's locked, all right.
I'm sure that during
The patients are not fools. They know we are overwhelmed by this horrifying...
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous...
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met one.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember.
He was also very confident about...
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation?
This hospital is not exactly the best of London.
It's more than enough.
Don't be misled by appearances.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl.
You really seem to admire her skill.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swan.
Ah, yes, the burden of command.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a...
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result. Secrets to me, even the darkest thoughts.
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
How would you describe the situation?
It's serious.
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu...
I wish I could believe you.
How long have you been a nurse?
Or long enough to see that the epidemic is winning.
You'd be surprised what
Sorry, Doctor.
How is the Pembroke
Not well. Milton the app.
Why is Milton...
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad...
Why does Milton dislike
I don't know.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Yes, Doctor?
Exactly how bad...
It really depends.
Why then do you always work the nights?
At the Pembroke, we're always hands on deck.
Your dedication to the Pembroke does you credit.
We staff get our sleep when we can, Doctor.
Lack of sleep and the medical profession.
London's trenches start here at Pembroke.
Please, could you point me...
It's the large boarded-up building behind...
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
Yes, Doctor?
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you. It's locked. Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody. strain. This sickness moves faster than influenza. This key will surely grant me access to the basement. These scowls feed from corpses and the husks of animals. They're not after blood. Mr. Connor's injuries don't match the report. I'd better look into this. Skulls can be so ferocious. I'm not sure I can defeat them without becoming stronger. To drink blood is so tempting. Sodium hypochlorite. Dangerous to administer, but efficient in the proper dosage. Balls of Mars. Fortifiers. As popular as they are ineffective. But they do contain iron tartrate, and that might prove itself useful.
I cannot enter.
Yes, Doctor?
That's all for now, Nurse Crane, thank you.
As for me, blundering idiot.
I'm quite busy right now, Dr. Reed.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later. Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor.
Tell me, Thelma, what do you really know about vampires?
I saw one and he saw me. I watched him hunt and kill. I saw his terrible wounds heal as his victim died. And then I knew I was saved.
You mean you actually saw a vampire? Here in London?
Yes. And it has been the answer to my pain. I must drink and kill to regenerate my decaying body. I am a vampire too.
You have no idea what
Why fear the truth?
Tell me, you mean
yes.
You have...
Why fear...
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities. Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Dr. Reed, is it?
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory.
You remained perfectly nice and polite.
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help...
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the...
Are you a priest, Mr.
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of...
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop?
That's a very strange question, Doctor.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Joan.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke?
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be true...
How do you feel, Miss...
I feel exhausted.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm
Thank you, sir.
How did you end up in William...
I had received alarming news about his recent...
Why did...
William was an alcoholic.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his...
What is the general
The situation has always been...
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went...
Has the gang been threatened?
Ah, no.
Do you know Tom Watts?
Tom? Yes, of course. All...
People are still in...
How could it be otherwise?
Who should I avoid in this part of town?
Not really. Most...
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Disgust on every street corner. The daily routine.
I have wasted too much energy for so little result.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway, to remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody's as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Tell me why you're extorting money from some of the patients here.
If a patient wants a bed, he'll have to pay me a little fee. That's all.
Where did you get the idea for such an immoral scam?
Funny you should ask. The first time it was from a patient who bribed me to get a bed. It's only then I realized I could make a fortune.
Admit it. Nurse Hawkins is more than your lover. She's also your partner in crime.
Of course she is. How else could I tell which bed is free? I need to know that.
Have you no shame?
Don't you see the city is crumbling down? Today people are ready to pay to get a hospital bed. Tomorrow we may be fighting for food.
What's going on between you and Nurse Hawkins?
Pippa's tired. Tired of all this shit. Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples.
Maybe you're right. But we supported.
You do realize you could both get...
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you...
How is the situation?
You want to hear the situation is...
So what do you do exactly in the...
I've been an ambulance driver since...
Since you're on the...
It's a complete disaster.
It sounds like things have been...
Yesterday I got...
You left an infected patient outside the...
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know.
But you're not defending yourself.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor.
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the...
I know it's a difficult task.
I've seen babies left to die while they're...
I'm sorry, I don't know what...
Yeah, exactly. We lack...
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reluctant...
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Pepper, I know...
Yes. Milton Hooks is my man.
I have no intention of...
The rules say I won't be allowed to work.
Is he worth the...
Hey, I'm no perfect...
Milton cheats patients.
Yes, I am.
Is this your definition?
No. It is my definition of getting out of...
Why did...
Why not? Most...
How can you be affected by...
I could ask you the same.
Whose idea...
What difference does it make?
Answer my...
It was my idea first. Even though Milton would say it was his.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
I will not let you down, my boy.
Finally, you've returned, Doctor. Did you find anything of value?
Yes, nurse.
You've worked your first miracle, Doctor. Now, this patient here needs immediate treatment.
Duty calls. When the storm has passed, I'll show you how to mix the remedy yourself with the same basic ingredients.
Many thanks, Doctor.
So tired.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick. How are you?
I'm okay.
I have to go now, sir. But don't head...
Don't waste your time with me.
How long must I wait, damn it? Blaming me will not further your agenda, sir. How long is it going to take to fix?
It's locked.
Perhaps I should have considered the option.
But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Good evening, Mr. Goswick.
I'm okay.
Do you need any help?
I'm afraid I'm...
You are not a burden, sir. Healing you is my responsibility.
And you have my gratitude for that.
I have to go now, sir. But don't hesitate to contact me if you need any help.
Falling apart. But in the circumstances, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Calm the children, Helen. As for me.
I've never seen so many people die.
Good evening, Mr.
Dr. Reed.
And why is that?
People who don't sleep at night always seem more alive.
Do you ever think about that poor fellow I saw you pushing?
The wound he gave me will make sure I don't forget him.
That man was determined to murder you.
What a surprise. The first time I met him,
What did he want?
I recently had to kill his brother.
Only the strongest of...
I'm the toughest bastard you'll ever meet.
You're lucky to be alive, Mr. Cox.
This place is full of sickness and...
I will see you later. How long do you think...
I know this city like the back of my hand, Doc.
We can't escape.
I ain't afraid of...
And who are you, then?
I'm the leader of the Wet Boot.
I'll leave you for now, Mr. Cox.
At least that mistress of the town.
Good evening, Dr. Timmons.
Dr. Reed.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Please, Jonathan, come in. Fascinating, is it not? In the last decade, so many mysteries have been brought to light with our microscopes. The human body, biology's penultimate frontier. The more we explore its boundaries, the less we're able to trace a clear line between life and death. You, my friend, have a foot in both countries. The view must be vertiginous.
It's at least as vertiginous as chatting about vampires with you, I would say.
This must be all so new to you. This area of town.
I wish I could share your enthusiasm.
I cannot express my thrill at this.
There is an absurd poetry to my situation. Physician, heal thyself.
Forgive me. I've been an admirer of...
There is no need to apologize, Ed.
Very well. I have a task for you, Jonathan.
Please, go on.
The Pembroke only survives through the...
A spokesman or politician is what you need.
Discretion is in order, Jonathan.
And you would like me to...
By the stole, of course not.
Accepted. I'll see what kind of trouble Lady Ashbury is in.